Hey guys, welcome to class 2nd of After Effects series. In this class, we are going to learn about keyframes and what is keyframe, where we use, listen carefully, keyframes are building blocks, video editing, 2D animation, 3D animation, motion graphics, etc, etc. And basically keyframes are just a command value. We set initial value, we set a final value, that's it. Video is ready, animation is ready. You just need to hit a space button. Okay, let's get started. First we need to create a new composition. Name it, we should name a keyframe. Okay, and I'm going with 1920 by 180p, and duration of a video I want a 10 second. Okay, 0 frames at 10 seconds, 0 minutes and 0 hours. Okay, and here we go. As you can see, there is no keyframe and no any footage I imported from here. Just we need to first import our footages. Right click, double click on project panel and import your footages first. I'm going with this cat and one more PNG and one more skull. Okay, first of all I suggest you create a new folder for just don't mess your projects, footages, songs together. Separate it. Okay, you just need to drag and drop. Here we separated our photos, images and PNG. Okay, now start our first animation. Don't be panic, it's not a big deal. And I'm going with first skull. Drag and drop it in timeline panel. Here we go. Our skull is ready for animation. Now for animate this skull, in top right corner you can see here arrow. Click on it. One drop down menu open, transform, and once again click on it. You see anchor point, position, scale, rotation and opacity. What is the anchor point? Anchor point, that means anchor point means where you want to start your animation, and here is anchor point. This is anchor point, circle, a small circle with a dot in middle. Okay, this is anchor point, and we can't move anchor point with a selective tool. We need to anchor point tool for move this. And here is pan behind, means anchor point tool. Click on it and you can now move your anchor point. You can show here our selective tool. You can show here a mini box appear in selective tool. That means your anchor point tool is activated and you can move your anchor point anywhere. And you can move your anchor point with two methods. First snapping and other non-snapping. For example, I am on, for example, now my snapping is on, that's why anchor point is snapped and snapped. Okay, here is snapped anchor point and move it in center. When I close my snapping, anchor point got free, no snapping here, and I can move it anywhere without any. I recommended always on your snap because it's good for your health. You don't wanna mentally lose your. Now let's get started our first animation, and don't be panic, it's not a big deal. First import your clip, footages, anything if you which you drag in your project panel. I'm going with this skull, and top right corner you can show arrow. Click on it, then one appear, transform, again click on it, and you can show here anchor point, position, scale, rotation, opacity. And what's that means anchor point? What's mean anchor point? Anchor point means where you want your animation start and end. If you can show anchor point, it's in the middle of this clip, in the middle of this skull. Here is anchor point. This is anchor point. You can't move anchor point with your selective tool. You need to select your anchor point tool. That's called pan behind tool. Here is pan behind tool. Select on it, and you can show here mini box appear in selective tool. That means your anchor point tool is activated. You can now move your anchor point. Here my snapping is on. Here if you off your snapping, then you can move your anchor point freely. I recommended always on your snapping because you don't wanna lose your mental health. For mental health condition, you need to stop on your snapping. I always on my snapping. Okay, now I on my snapping and I move my anchor point in corner. If I scale down my skull, then you can show here skull is scale down and scale up with that corner where anchor point is situated. And when I move my anchor point in different place, opposite corner, then scale down from that corner. Okay, that's the value of anchor point. That's how anchor point work. If I situate my anchor point in the middle of PNG, then he is scaled from middle. Generally we put anchor point in middle, because always we want a static animation. Now I think we learn about how basics of animations. Here is scale up and scale down, and you can show here a chain. If I off this, then here scale y direction and x direction manually, means if you wanna move your animation y direction separately, then you can turn off. Basically we don't need much. I turn off on it again. Control plus Z. Now you can show in your display which button I am clicking. I think you understand what is anchor point selective tool. Okay, and here is position tool, y direction, x direction, and here is rotation tool. You can rotate your and here is opacity. That means here is opacity. Now the question is how we can add keyframes on this layer. First one, you can show here a stopwatch like icon behind the anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. And what is this? It's called anchor point. It's called keyframe. For example, if I add click on it, then my keyframe started. I command my initial keyframe for 0. After 1 second, I command my final keyframe for 100. Now our first animation started. It's a scale up. That's how animation and keyframe works. And if I command my position rotation, initial rotation is 0. I can drag my keyframe also. I mean final rotation is 0. I want a final rotation 0 and initial rotation approx 20. Now you can show your animation. He skulls rotated bit. Now you can show here skull scale up with little rotation. If I increase my rotation value from initial key anchor point, keyframe. Why I'm forgetting keyframe. Let's do it in 50, always in even number 15. Then you can clearly show your animation is rotating and scale up. One more thing, if I add another keyframe here. One more thing, if I add anywhere in my timeline, any value, if I change my value between animation, anywhere in animation, then here is also one keyframe appears automatically. Let's suppose if I minus 20, minus 30, then you can show here one more rotation keyframe appears here. It means initial rotation 50 plus 50, then he goes plus and minus, minus 30 now. It's a minus 30. I want a minus 30 plus 50 minus 30, then 0. Okay, and here is our animation looks like.